Machiavelli Mills TV, what's going on, y'all? So look, earlier this morning, I went to go see It, Chapter 2. That just dropped. It just released, right? And let me say this, man. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I enjoyed this film. I'm not going to say thoroughly enjoyed. I enjoyed this film. I really did. However, this film is not better than It, Chapter 1. It's not better than It, Chapter 1. I'm going to tell you all why it's not. But let's talk about the things that I loved about this film, that I really liked about this film. I loved the acting. I really thought the acting was great all across the board. Bill Skarsgård, look, this casting of Pennywise the Clown, he is perfect for this role. Like, I don't think he can get any better than Bill Skarsgård. Like, when he does that drooling, when his mouth open and the eyes are, I'm like, yo, this dude, he is creepy. He is scary as hell. Like, I'm like, yo, if I saw him when I'm walking down the street and I see a dude and I see him drooling and them eyes like that, I'm like, yo, he don't even have to have the makeup on, the face paint or nothing. If I saw him with his regular face doing that, I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm like, bro, I'm going to let you do your thing. I'm going to go my way. And we ain't even got to cross paths with each other, brother. I'm minding my business. You mind yours. And I'm going to run in the opposite direction because he nails it. He nails it, man. I was like, yo, this dude is great. I'm not even familiar with his work. But when I saw him in Chapter 1, I'm like, yo, this dude is great at what he does. He sells this character as this horrifying, menacing clown. And he sells it to a T. See, like, I was like, yo, this dude, he is horrifying as this clown. James McAvoy as Bill Denbrough, I thought he did a great job. Like, I think James McAvoy is a really underrated actor. You know, James McAvoy is the character from Split. He was the main character in Split. And I'm like, yo, this dude, like, when I saw Split and I saw how his range, like, how he can go from one character to the next, to the next, to the next, I knew he was a phenomenal actor, and I felt like that role was the perfect role to showcase his acting abilities. He's great once again in this, but I feel like Bill Hader, he really stole the show. Like, he was the comic relief in the film. I feel like he told a lot of great funny jokes. He had a lot of funny jokes he told within it, but at the same time, you saw great emotion from him, especially when spoiler alert. When Eddie was killed in the film, he showed a lot of emotion, and I appreciated that from him, man. You also had Jessica Chastain as Beverly Marsh. You have what's the other guy's name? Oh, Jay Ryan as Ben. I really liked how they cast these characters. A lot of these characters actually look like they really got the resemblance down. Like, they really cast characters that really looked and resembled the younger versions of these characters. And I'm like, yo, that's dope. That's a dope job to do that. And they got, not only did they look like these individuals, they sold it. They did it. They did a great job, man. I also feel like, seriously, this movie has some more, I feel like it had darker moments than the first one at certain points, right? Like, I told y'all, I was terrified of It when I was a kid. When Tim Curry's version, I was terrified. Like, I was like, yo, I don't want no parts of this. This is horrific. But I don't remember it being as gruesome or as dark in some moments. Y'all can refresh my memory, but I don't remember it being as gruesome or dark. Like in the first one, when he like bit off Georgie's arm, when Georgie reached into the sewer, and you see Georgie crawling to save his life, I was like, yo, this is too much. But the second one, it's a scene where the little girl is under the bleachers at a football game. And she goes under the bleachers. Pennywise lures her in, right? And she has like a birthmark on her face. And then he says, I can remove that. And this man tells her to get closer. And this man extends his mouth wide and just chomps all into her face. I'm like, yo, man, this is a little girl. Like, man, this is graphic. But there's some very, very dark moments. And a moment where Beverly, she goes to her old home, and she tries to see if her dad's there. She has a very strained relationship. Doesn't have a relationship with her father at all. I feel like, yeah, her father was sexually abusing her and all type of, he was abusive and everything. Very physically abusive, sexually abusive, and verbally abusive as well. So she goes back to try to, I guess, pay him a visit or try to refresh her memory about things. And this old creepy lady is in there and is really Pennywise. And like, yo, Pennywise playing tricks on her, crazy. It's a lot of jump scares in this one too. A lot of jump scares, which I think is great for, you know, you going to the movies and seeing a film. But sometimes the jump scares didn't turn out to be as scary as you thought it would be at times. it didn't. Some things like, okay, I was like, ah, that's what it was. Kind of lackluster, but still, when some just jumps out and you see some ugly face, you still get startled. So I mean, it did the trick if you want to get startled for a moment. Seriously. And what else did I like about the film? And again, I like the casting. There were. Listen too. This is another thing. When I saw the film, and we're gonna get into some things that I didn't like. Like, some of it seemed a little silly. Some of the moments that were supposed to be scary seemed a little silly to me. Like, I'm like, Big Paul Bunyan. I'm like, that's not really scary to me at all. And I'm thinking, like, in some other parts, didn't seem scary at all. Either some zombified figures, it wasn't really that scary to me. Some of it was. And I'm guessing, I think what it was is that some things are sold better depending on whose perspective it's coming from, right? Because this movie takes place 27 years after the first chapter 1 happened. So these are the adult versions of these characters. I feel like when they were children, small children, the story, like, I don't know, it seemed more realistic. It sold better to me. It seemed scarier. Moments seemed extremely scarier. And that's because I can picture myself being 10 or 11. And I'm in town, and this horrific clown is killing folks and all of that. Like, I can imagine I would be creeped the hell out, bro. Like, I would be scared out of my damn mind. Like, I would lose my mind if I was 10 or 11. I still would lose my mind now, and I'm 26. I'd still be scared as hell too. I'm not gonna front. I would still be horrified, no lie. But I think it sells better coming from the kid's perspective. Like, I just felt like sometimes I feel like the story was more cohesive at times from the kid's perspective. When these individuals got older, I feel like it was too much flashing back a lot of times. And I'm like, sometimes it was too much flashing back. I'm like, yo, we got to keep it where we at now. Like, you can flash back, but sometimes I feel like it was too much just flashing back to the character's past. What else did I have a gripe with? What else? Okay, the movie is long. And usually, I promise y'all, I don't mind long movies as long as it's paced properly. I feel like some moments in this are paced a little bad. I feel like some moments may have lasted a little longer than what they should have. But I mean, I still feel like the action parts, I feel like those parts are really good. I feel like it was really good. I feel like they were dope. However, I felt more horrified for these individuals when they were children. Like, you know, like, man, these little kids, like, they in the midst of all of this, and this big clown is trying to kill them, and this dude is psychotic, is crazy. But I felt more, when they were kids, I felt more horrified for them. Like, it's one part in the movie where one of the little boys who, James McAvoy, who Bill is, the little boy, I think the little boy reminds him of Georgie. One, because the little boy's family has moved into Bill's old home. And when Pennywise gets the little boy, eats the little boy, kills the boy, like, I'm like, yo, I can imagine that little boy being scared out of his damn mind. Like, seriously, being horrified out of his mind and something like that. So, like, I felt that part more than some other parts involving the elder individuals. Like, a scene in the antique shop, some of it, like, I felt the kids, I felt moments from the kids' perspective more than the adults' perspective at times. Seriously, that's just me, or, you know, other people can feel it as well. What else, man, about this film? I really think, let's get to the plot of this film, man. The plot, I did this backwards. The plot of the story is 27 years after the first events happened in chapter 1. Mike Hanlon, he's the only one of the Losers Club who still lives in Derry, Maine. And strange events are occurring once again. Kids are going missing out of the blue, and nobody knows what's going on. Mike knows what's going on, though. He knows it perfectly clear. He calls all the individuals of the Losers Club to gather them together, and they all come back to meet once again. All individuals come except Stanley. Stanley ends up committing suicide, even though we know it's not really him committing suicide. We know it's Pennywise playing with him, and that's ultimately why he commits suicide. But all the other friends come together to try to kill Pennywise, get Pennywise out of the game once and for all. Oh yeah, it's another part in this film too. It's a part where Mike has it's like an artifact from a native tribe of people. And he uses this artifact to get James McAvoy's character, Bill. He uses this artifact to get Bill to see how to defeat Pennywise. And I just felt like that part was really pointless. I didn't really get it. I was like, I wasn't really feeling that part. It seemed it felt a little cheesy and cheap to me. I'm like, yeah, I don't really like that part like that. I really didn't. But I did like the part. I don't know how other people felt about this part. The crazy dude, Henry Bowers, coming back and trying to kill him with some little crazy little corpse, or the leper, or some crazy little corpse. He riding around in the car with the corpse trying to kill the members of the Losers Club. I feel like those scenes were pretty good. I feel like those are dope. I like those scenes. And yeah, overall, man, I enjoyed the movie. I would give the movie a 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. I feel like, I'll say a 7.5. I'll say 7.5 out of 10. I feel like the movie had really, really great moments, had some really good moments, but I feel like there was also some moments that were lackluster as well. I'm like, man, I wish this part might have been done better, may have been done in a different way, and I think the story would have came across more clearer. And I also feel like the jumping back and forth between child and adult, I don't know, it didn't make it as cohesive for me. I'm like, I don't really like them jumping back and forth between the characters, man. Stay with these characters. Yes, you can flashback, but not everybody keep having these flashbacks back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, yo, what part am I seeing? What is going on? You know, what part am I viewing? Seriously, I really wanted to know, because there was some points I was like, yo, okay. But yeah, it had some great moments that I really enjoyed, that I felt like, oh man, they nailed it. They nailed it on this part. But other points where I'm like, something was lacking for me. Something was lacking for me, man. I would watch it again, because like I enjoyed a lot of parts of the film. I would definitely watch it again. But ultimately, I felt like part 1 was better. I think I gave part 1 like a 9 out of 10. I feel like part 1 was done to a T. And again, I think it has to do with the perspective, whose perspective it was coming from. Coming from those kids' perspective, I don't know, it felt more genuine. I felt more afraid. Because I feel like these are kids, man. These are helpless, harmless kids. They don't know what to do in this situation. How the hell can you prepare for a killer clown coming to invade your town that you're living in? Like, you can't, it's like, all of those things, man. It's parts where they like, fear rattling through their body at some of them points. And I was just like horrified for these characters, each and one of these characters in the first one. And I'm not saying I wasn't horrified for them in the second one, but it's this whole idea of things sells better. It's not as silly when it's coming from children. And that's my whole thing. Also, too, man, a fun fact, because I'm thinking like, I think I found out like, and I can tell too from looking at the character's face. So I'm looking like, okay, we saw these characters. Did all of this filming for the children's part? Did this filming for the children occur during the first film, and they just added the things into the second film? I'm like, did they add all this stuff in the second film, or you know, was this done currently? Because I'm looking like, Finn Wolfhard looks a lot older than what he did 2 years ago. He does. He has whenever they probably shot this in 2015, 2016. He looked a lot younger during that time period than he does now. He looks a lot older now. But they used some CGI and things like that to make him look like a child. And you can tell in some parts, you can see it. I'm like, man, he really looks like they got a filter on that man's face. Like one of those Snapchat filters on his face to make him look more youthful, more younger, more baby face, more than, you know, he doesn't look as mature because they're using the CGI to cover up that he's a lot older than what he was. So they use it to make him look more younger. Because I'm looking like, yo, did they film these parts and add it in for the second movie? But I'm like, no, I'm looking at his face. I'm looking like it's like a filter on his face. He was a lot older. They had to make him look younger. But all in all, man, I feel like the casting was great. I feel like Bill Skarsgård is amazing. I feel like I liked a lot of the dark parts of it. Like, man, this stuff, it was a little dark right here. Like, man, it really got creepy at certain points when he ate that little girl. He bit into her face. Like, that did it for me. I'm like, yo, this dude, yeah, man, you got to get him out the game. He is diabolical. He foul. He is foul. It's time to eliminate him. But, yeah. Overall, man, again, a 7.5, 7.5 for this film. I will watch it again, but it ain't better than chapter 1. And again, I haven't read the books, So I don't know. Is it better than the book? Did the book tell it better? Did the book sell it better? Y'all let me know. Machiavelli Mills TV. Peace.